One way of generating data that is always changing is by using, for example, the date object and then using the now method to get a timestamp. So this is pretty useful because if you're running this once, then you're going to get some data, and if you run it 1 second later, then you're going to get some different data. So in this case, we are generating here a set of credentials, username and password, and then we're using this against an endpoint to register a user. But let me tell you why this is problematic and what are solutions to make this better. So first of all, what's the problem with this? The problem with this is that once we have more than one virtual user using this view stage, we're going to get duplicated credentials. And if you don't believe me, we can simply use here console.log against the credentials. Let's go ahead and run this. I'm going to stop the execution here for a second because we already seen what we wanted to see. So this is the first iteration, and we're going to see here what is the secret. We're going to see here this showing up here, this showing up here. It's essentially showing up 5 times. So we're going to have probably the request is going to work for the first virtual user, but then it's going to fail for 4 other virtual users. Then of course it starts again, and then we're going to get slightly bit different data because then the iteration is not going to start immediately. But once we have like 2 virtual users going inside this function at the same time, then we're going to have here this collision of credentials. And this is something that we definitely do not want to have. So what is the solution to this? Well, luckily, K6 offers a random string function. So we can generate a random string over a certain length. So all we have to do is import this, and I'm going to link this page in the resources folder so that you can easily do what I'm doing as well. So first of all, we need to import random string. I'm going to add it here right at the top. And then in order to actually use it, we need to use here the function random string and specify a length. I'm going to go with 8 because I think that's a decent length. So we're going to replace here date now with this random string. So let's see how this looks like. I'm going to start the execution once again. And I'm going to stop it already because we practically seen enough. So this is our test username. This is the password, so they're no different. And then if we're looking at the next user, it's going to be different as well as the password. So we're no longer noticing that duplication in data. And this is kind of like safe to use with a lot of virtual users. So this is how we can generate a random string in K6 and use it to create random data so that you don't have any collisions.